Yes, here we are. Again, my name is Arti Pancham, and we will start with the webinar. Well, first of all, what am I going to inform you about? Who is Aon? Why is it important to have an insurance? What is the right insurance advice for persons, students who come to the Netherlands and are studying here? What is the coverage of the Aon student insurance? What happens to your insurance when you work or you're going to do an internship in the Netherlands? How can you apply, pay, and claim for the insurance? How does the healthcare system work in the Netherlands? What do you need to do if you need to go to a doctor? A recap of the Aon student insurance, and last but not least, the questions. Who is Aon and what do we do? Aon is an international advisor in risk management and an insurance broker. We have 500 offices worldwide, 60,000 employees worldwide, and 13 offices here in the Netherlands. The headquarters is here in Rotterdam, where I and my colleagues are now doing the presentation and where we are based. We work for the Department International People Mobility, IPM from Aon, and this is the department where the Aon student insurance is serviced. And if you have any questions or you want to know something regarding your insurance or regarding, rules and regulations, you can contact one of my colleagues. We have a multilingual student services team. And we are a partner of almost all universities of applied sciences and research universities in the Netherlands. And we have insured over 450,000 students in the last decade. Why is it important to have an insurance when you come to the Netherlands? First of all, you are responsible for your own expenses if you come to the Netherlands and you're going to do a study at a university or University of Applied Sciences. By law, it is required to have health insurance because if you don't, again, you will have to pay everything out of your own pocket. The healthcare costs in the Netherlands are high and maybe higher than you're used to in your own home country. Um, like, for instance, specialist consults are approximately 110 euros for 10 minutes, and that's only the consult. That's not any additional examinations like blood work or x-rays or scans or other examinations that have to be done. X-rays are approximately 80 euros, scans around 800 euros, depending on what kind of scan you need. A hospital bed, to give you some insight, is approximately 800 euros per night, and that's only the bed and support of the nurses and the doctors, but not if you need to have an operation or if you need some other tests, then those costs are additional on top of the 800 euros per night. If someone is admitted to an ICU bed, intensive care unit, that's approximately 2,500 euros per night. So you can imagine that if you are not insured for that, if you don't have any insurance to cover these costs, it will set you back, or it can set you back a lot financially. And it is important to have an insurance for unforeseen circumstances in case you need to go back home because there is an emergency in your family, for instance. But also if you accidentally harm or a person or damage somebody else's goods, you can be held liable for that. And that can cost you some money as well. But also if there's a burglary in your room or in your student house, things get stolen. If you're not insured, you won't be reimbursed for the things you've lost or the things that are stolen. So no insurance means you will have to pay all the costs yourself. And that's why we say it's very important before coming to the Netherlands to take out an insurance from the moment you set foot on Dutch soil that you are insured. Well, what kind of insurances do we have? Sorry. We have a package insurance. We have insurances for full degree students, and we have insurances for exchange students. The only difference is that the packages are more or less the same. The medical expenses are both including pre-existing conditions. So that means that if you already have, for instance, diabetics, and you need to continue your consults here and your medication, that is covered under the full degree insurance. If you are an exchange student, you will be here approximately, around 6 months. Most of the times, then we expect you to take your medicine with you. But if your condition worsens, so if you get sick and you need to be treated for that diabetes, for instance, those costs are covered. For the A1 full degree, all the costs are covered because that is for bachelor's, master's, PhD students who are going to be here for quite some time. In the medical expenses, all medical expenses are covered, like going to the doctor, seeing a specialist in a hospital, prescription medication, inpatient care. So if you are admitted to a hospital and you need to have a surgery or anything else, or you break your leg and you need a cast and you need to have physiotherapy, that's all covered under the medical expenses. Also covered is psychotherapy. So if you need to see a psychologist and you already were seeing a psychologist in your home country, but you need to extend that, you can do that here. It will be covered up until 3,000 euros per insurance year, which means that each year that you are extending the insurance, you will have the 3,000 euros each year. I'm just coming back to the medical expenses because the medical expenses, the coverage is that there is no limit. So the actual costs are covered and there's no out-of-pocket payment. So there's no excess that you have to pay first. What the invoice is what we pay. Then we have a coverage for dental costs because of an accident and dental treatment to relieve pain. Dental costs because of an accident is, for instance, your main means of transportation in the Netherlands will probably be a bicycle. If you are, for instance, you fall off your bicycle, had a lovely evening with friends, you cycle back home and you fall, you break your teeth, you need to get that fixed. Well, that is then covered for 1,250 euros per year. Dental treatment to relieve pain is a maximum coverage of 350 euros per year. And that is, you wake up one morning, you have a terrible toothache, you need to go to a dentist to relieve that pain. You will have coverage for that up until 350 euros. Be aware of the fact that it is an emergency coverage for dental. So there is no coverage for examinations every 6 months or the mouth hygienist. Of course, you can go to the dentist to do those things, but you will have to pay that out of your own pocket. And everything that is above the 350 euros or the 1,250 euros, you will have to pay out of your own pocket. Then there is emergency assistance, repatriation, and extra travel costs. What we cover is the repatriation of students. If you need to go back to your home country because there is a life-threatening situation with a family member or somebody that has raised you, or even worse, somebody has perished that is close to you, you can do that, and we will cover those costs. In those cases, you can contact our emergency center, the assistance number, which is available 24/7, and they will make the arrangements for you. The other way around works as well, and that's a 7,000 euro coverage in case there is a life-threatening situation with an insured person and it's necessary for family members, two family members to come over, they can do so. They can come to the Netherlands and they will have coverage up until 7,000 euros for the flights, for accommodation costs, for a living cost. And yeah, they can just do that. That will also be arranged by us. Then there is a liability coverage that is if you accidentally harm another person or break another person's goods. For instance, you are in a shop, you are walking around and you accidentally bump into a pile of stuff and that falls and some things break. The owner of the shop can hold you liable for that, and those costs you will have to pay then. Well, in those cases, you are covered under the liability insurance, but also if you cycle and you bump into a person by accident, you harm that person, you damage their goods, they hold you liable for that. Well, you can do the claim with us, and you will be covered if you are liable for the costs you've made. Then there is luggage and personal items. If you're going to travel, then you have coverage also under this insurance, so you don't need to take out extra insurance. If you are still studying and you go away for a weekend or a week, you are going to, somewhere in Europe, you are from countries far away from here, so you are probably going to have some fun seeing other countries, and you should do so. You will have coverage under this insurance as well. Your home content, the things you have in your room or your apartment, is covered up until 6,000 euros maximum against flood, fire, and burglary. In case of burglary, you always need to file a police report because that is something we need in order to reimburse you the costs or the things that have been stolen. Then there's an accident coverage and there's a legal aid assistance. And legal aid assistance is, for instance, you are renting a room from a landlord or a landlady. You're paying good money for that, and the plumbing is not working and the water is not working, and things are not good in the apartment. You try to solve it with the landlord or the landlady. It doesn't work. You come into a legal dispute, well, then you can contact us and we can assist you with that matter. That is legal assistance. So that are the packages we offer for students who are going to do a full degree and for students who are going to do an exchange in the Netherlands. Then, of course, the premium, very important. For the Aon insurance for full degree students, the premium is €1.89 per day, which is 56 euros per month. You should forget the second table because the top up is for European students or students who have a Dutch basic healthcare insurance. But I will explain about that a little bit later on. If you are an exchange student and you are coming here, if you take out the Aon exchange package, then you pay €1.59 per day, which is 47 euros per month. If you're going to be an intern or a trainee at a company as part of your studies, then you also pay 47 euros. And as the only company in the Netherlands, we offer a third year coverage as well. If you have completed your bachelor or master's and you want to stay in the Netherlands to see whether you can find a job and you apply for the third year permit, we can offer you a coverage for the period between the moment you stop your studies and apply for the third year and until you find a job. The premium for the third year coverage is €2.28, which is 68 euros per month. And I just want to give you a comparison with regard to the Aon full degree insurance. 56 euros might sound like a lot of money per month. But if you compare that with the mandatory, the public basic healthcare insurance we Dutch people have in the Netherlands, which is approximately 140 euros per month and has an excess of 385 euros, it's, it's just a fraction of what you pay per month for the Aon student insurance. And the Aon student insurance is, is a package, covers much more than the Dutch basic healthcare insurance, because there's, for instance, no physiotherapy covered in the Dutch basic healthcare insurance. That for that you need an additional coverage, so and so on and so on. So just to give you a comparison between those two insurances. Well, we cover a lot, of course, but it's an insurance and some things are not covered as well. So to give you some information about what's not covered, damages caused by the abuse of substance like drugs and alcohol are not covered. Damages that were caused on purpose. If you lie or are not being honest when filling out the application form to apply for the insurance, because if you are not honest and you receive the insurance and later you submit a claim which you said you didn't have on the application form, and you do so, then that will not be covered. Also not covered is preventive medicine, preventive procedures, preventive checkups, and over-the-counter medicine. Well, preventive medicine is things you are taking to prevent an illness. Those things are not covered. Checkups are not covered. Of course, you can do that, but you will have to pay that out of your own pocket. And over-the-counter medicine is medicine that you can buy freely without any prescription yourself, like for instance paracetamol or a cough syrup or certain painkillers, which you can buy freely in a drugstore, a pharmacy, or a supermarket. And last but not least, sports with an increased risk of accidents or injuries, like bungee jumping or a survival track, or sports that is entails a high risk. A list of those sports are in the general policy conditions. You can find that in the policy conditions and on our website in the section frequently asked questions. Then the rules and regulations with regard to a part-time job in the Netherlands or an internship. As an international student in the Netherlands, you are not allowed to take out the public basic healthcare insurance. That's the insurance Dutch citizens have or people who work here have. So as a student who is not working and you're coming to the Netherlands, you need to take out a private insurance like the Aon student insurance. But the whole situation changes once you are going to do a paid part-time job or you're going to do an internship in the Netherlands. If you have a part-time job or if you're going to work and you are earning money for which you pay taxes and social securities, then you are obligated by law to have the Dutch basic healthcare insurance. What you need to do in those cases, you stop your Aon student insurance, you take out the Dutch basic healthcare insurance, and you take out the additional package. And if you do that, you will receive a 55% discount on the premium of the Aon student insurance. If you are going to do an internship as a non-EU, non-EEA student, and you are earning more than the Dutch minimum wage, then you are also, it's also mandatory to take out the Dutch basic healthcare insurance. If you are earning less than the minimum wage, then it's not necessary, then you can keep your Dutch basic healthcare insurance. If you are not sure what to do, I always advise, or we always advise students to ask the HR department of the company or organization where they're going to do the internship to help them with that. The HR department always knows what the rules and regulations are. And if you think, well, I'm not going to do this, I'm just going to keep my A on student insurance, don't do that. Because you are working or you are doing a Dutch basic or you are doing an internship, your details are in the tax system. So the government knows that you are working. So what will happen is that the CAK and the SVB, those are Dutch governmental organization, will link those details and will see, well, this person is working, but this person doesn't have a Dutch basic healthcare insurance. And they first will send you a letter to inform you you're working, you need to have a Dutch basic healthcare insurance, you will have so much time for that to take that out. If you don't do that, they will send you a second letter, and that letter will also contain a fine of 528 euros, which is a lot of money. If you don't react to that, then they will send you another fine. And the third letter is again a fine, and also the statement that they have taken out an insurance for you. And of course, that insurance is much more expensive than a normal Dutch basic healthcare insurance. So if you receive a letter from the CAK or the SVB and you do not know what to do, ask your university or ask a fellow student, a Dutch student preferably, to help you to take action. And if you are not sure whether you it's mandatory for you to take out the Dutch basic healthcare insurance, you can always ask for an assessment from the SVB. You go online to svb.nl and you fill out the assessment form, and they will give you a definite ruling on whether you are it's mandatory for you to take out the Dutch basic healthcare insurance or not. But bear in mind that the time for the assessment is between 4 to 8 weeks. So make sure you do it on time, or take out on time a Dutch basic healthcare insurance, or ask for an assessment on time. Then the healthcare system in the Netherlands. That is something that is probably different than you're used to in your own home country. Here in the Netherlands, we do not go directly to a hospital for medical care. What we do, everybody has a general practitioner that is a huisarts, we call it. When you arrive in the Netherlands, it's necessary that you find a general practitioner not too far from the a location where you are going to live. The GP is always your first point of contact for health issues. If you wake up one morning, you have a problem, you think my tummy is aching, I'm not feeling very well, contact the GP. The assistant will ask you some questions, will make an appointment for you, and you will come to the doctor then, and the GP will examine you and will decide on further action. Is it necessary for you to go to a hospital, or can he or she treat you themselves? The GP is a fully qualified general doctor. So you don't have to worry that you are not treated well. This is a fully qualified doctor. If necessary, if the GP thinks it's necessary for you to visit the hospital, they will provide you with a referral for a specialist consult, and you can make an appointment with the hospital. Without a referral from the GP, if you go to the hospital and you don't have a referral from the GP, there won't be a reimbursement from the insurance. So you always need to have a referral from the GP. And one other thing that's very important, if you have an appointment with a doctor or with any organization in the Netherlands, please show up on time, or even better, 10 to 15 minutes in advance, because sometimes you need to fill out some paperwork, you have to go to a secretary to subscribe to something. So it's always better to take some time and be in advance be a little bit in advance of the time that you have your appointment. If you cannot make it, call them. Give them a call and ask them to postpone the appointment so that you can make another appointment with them. Because if you don't do that, they will cancel your appointment, but they will send you an invoice. So you will have to pay for that. But if you didn't come and they send you an invoice, you won't get a reimbursement from the insurance. So make sure you postpone the appointment and make a new one if you cannot make it on time. The Aon student insurance and healthcare providers, you may have heard that there is a bit of a shortage of healthcare providers in the Netherlands, especially general practitioners. What can you do to find a general practitioner once you are in the Netherlands? First of all, you can go to zorgkaart.nl to find a GP in the vicinity of your house, of where you're going to live. You can, of course, also ask your university, because the majority of universities have cooperations with doctors and GPs. And of course, you can contact us. We have a database of a number of healthcare providers, and we can bring you in contact with them so that you always can at least see somebody. Aon provides free choice of healthcare providers, so you are free to go to any healthcare provider you want. We don't say to you, you have to go to this one or you have to go to that one. No, you have a free choice. One important thing about the healthcare providers is that Aon Student Insurance, as I said before, is a private insurance. And the medical system here for the mandatory insurances is the VECOSO system. Because Aon is a private insurance and there are other private insurers, we have our own portal for healthcare providers. So if you go to a doctor and they say, well, you're not insured correctly, or I cannot find you in the system, you can always say Aon has their own healthcare system and they can contact us. So that shouldn't be a problem. If you want to apply for the insurance, we do everything online. So the application is online. You will receive your policy documents in your email box. We will communicate with you online. Well, everything is done online. We advise you to apply for the insurance before you leave your home, because then you are insured during the travel of home to the Netherlands as well. So you don't need to take out additional travel insurance. There's no need for a BSN registration at City Hall because it's a private insurance. You don't need that, so you can take out the insurance before you come to the Netherlands. Take out the insurance for the entire duration of your studies. If you're going to do a bachelor, take it out for the duration, a master's or a PhD. You can also take it out for a year and then extend it after a year. But then you are fully insured and you don't have to pay everything at once. You can pay monthly if you want to. So lots of choices there. Some universities apply for their students, and those universities who apply for their students will do everything, so you don't have to apply yourself. Last but not least, make sure to extend your insurance before it expires. If you take out an insurance for, let's say, 9 months, a month before the expiration of your insurance, we will send you an email stating, be aware of the fact that your insurance is expiring in a month. Don't forget to extend it if it's necessary, and so on. So you can go to your online portal and you can extend the insurance there. Payment is flexible. You can pay, as I said, per month, you can pay per year, or you can pay everything at once. You can pay through automatic deduction, that is direct debit, or by e-invoice, You will receive a payment link. With that link, you can pay by MasterCard, credit card, Dutch Ideal Payments, or a manual bank transfer. If you want to pay by direct debit, you need to have a European SEPA account. That is necessary. If you cannot do that because you are still in your home country that is outside of Europe, you can choose for MasterCard, credit card, or a manual bank transfer. And once you are here in the Netherlands and you have opened your bank account, you can change that in your own online account you have with us. Once you have paid, you do not receive a confirmation from us. You can check your online invoices overview in your online account. And once you have applied for the insurance, you are obligated to pay the premium. If you don't pay the premium, that could lead to you being registered as a defaulter. And that means that you cannot take out any insurance anymore. So if you are in trouble, if you cannot pay the insurance, give us a call so we can work something out with you. You know, to pay in installments, for instance, whatever. But don't let it go that far that you are being registered as a defaulter, because it's very difficult to lift that status from a defaulter. Yeah, it would be a pity if you cannot take out an insurance anymore. And again, if the university applied for your insurance, payment is done through the university. So then you don't have to do anything. If you're not sure, just check with your university. Well, managing your insurance, you will receive all the policy documentation via email. All changes are managed in your own personal online portal. So you have your own online portal with your own login codes and your own login code. And then you can change, you know, if you are going to extend, if you want to extend the insurance, if you want to stop the insurance, if you want to change your way of payment, if you want to change your address, all those things you can be done in your own online portal. If the university applied for your insurance, payment and changes are carried out by the university. And if you need a Dutch basic healthcare insurance because you are going to work, go online and apply for the basic healthcare insurance. That's easy to do. If you have a change of plans or you need to go back home for whatever reason and you already paid it, you can terminate the policy on a daily basis. And from that day on, you will receive a prorated refund if you have already paid everything or part of the premium. Well, if you need to claim something, again, go to your online portal, follow the steps provided, and then you can upload your invoice there and we will reimburse you on your bank account. The last one is not applicable for you guys because you are not European students. Then a short recap about the Aon student insurance. It is an insurance for international students studying or doing an internship in the Netherlands. It offers worldwide coverage. So wherever you go, you have cover for as long as you are a student and studying at a certain university. You do not need a BSN number, registration at City Hall, to apply for the insurance. The medical coverage in the package is including pre-existing conditions or worsening of a pre-existing condition. Psychological consults are covered up until 3,000 euros per year. So there's non-medical coverage, like, for instance, liability, repatriation. Well, all those things I explained about. There's a 24/7 emergency assistance center that can assist you if you, for instance, are admitted to the hospital during the weekend or during the night and they ask for a guarantee of payment. Contact or let somebody contact that number and they will give you a guarantee of payment if you mention your policy number. The insurance is fully compliant for visa regulations, except for Switzerland, because Switzerland has their own set of rules. And one important thing, the Aon student insurance is a private insurance. So that means that you are not eligible for this insurance for healthcare allowance. The healthcare allowance is something that is funded by all Dutch taxpayers. And only if you have the Dutch basic healthcare insurance, so the governmental insurance, then you can apply for healthcare allowance. So that's something to keep in mind, because if you apply for it now and it is you receive an okay and they aren't going to pay you, and afterwards they find out that you received the healthcare allowance and you didn't have any right to have it, then you will have to pay everything back. So that's something to keep in mind. Well, how can we help you? Service and contact, if you need us, we are there, of course. We have an Aon student team, which is available from 8:30 until 5:30 during working days, Monday till Friday. You can contact us by phone, of course. You can send us an email. If you have claims-related questions, you can email claimsworldwide@aon.com. Or check our frequently asked questions section, because there's a lot of information there on the website. And of course, you can chat with us during office hours. And the chat is not a chatbot, it's a person, a real person behind that. And it's one of my colleagues. So you will always receive an answer to your question if you chat with us. So many ways to get in contact with us, and we're here to help you. And we will be at many universities and many universities of applied sciences during the January and February at welcome days or information markets, soft landing sessions for international students. Go to our website, in 2 weeks' time, and you will find an overview of where we are going to be, or look on the website of your university and you will see whether we will be there or not. We would love to see you, love to meet you. And if you have any additional questions, you can always ask them there and come and get a goodie from us. And that was the webinar. I hope it gave you some insight into the insurances here in the Netherlands, how things work, what you need to do if something changes. And have a great time in the Netherlands.